What's goody? It's your host Jay Rose as always, and the NBA Finals are about to start 8:30 tonight. The NBA Finals start, and I've been seeing a lot of people saying that the NBA playoffs has been pretty boring as a whole, and I disagree with that. So I'm gonna go look at all these previous playoff series and see if they were boring or not. Let's get into it. Over 90% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed, so if you're messing with the videos, please hit that sub button and the noti bell so you'll get notified every time I upload. But let's get back to the hoops. All right, we here on the split screen showing y'all all the series here, starting from the first round, and let's start off with the Eastern Conference. I feel like definitely the first series here, boring. Definitely boring. Bro, Jimmy was hurt. Rozier was hurt. There's not really much going on here, to be honest. The Heat got their one game, and the rest of these games look like very sound blowouts. So I can agree that this series was not competitive, very boring. Cavs Magic. I think Cavs Magic started off really slow. Started off really slow, and then it started to pick up steam. As you can see, a lot closer, and the Magic actually averaged more points overall than the Cavs, but ended up losing in 7. I was disappointed in the Cavs that they could not get it done in less than 7. I thought this was going to be a 5-6 game series, but look at what Paolo was doing. 27 points, 8.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and that's really where the fun factor came in my opinion, for this series. I feel like Paolo definitely did his thing. Like, he turned it up to a different level that we haven't seen him go to. And you can see, look at Paolo in game 7, 38 points. And I remember none of his teammates showed up. Franz Wagner, shitty game, 6 points. He shot 1 for 15. Jalen Suggs 2 for 13. It was just a bad outing overall, and I think if the Magic can come back, revamp the squad, get some more offensive pieces, that they're going to be a very good team, especially if Paolo can do shit like that. So I would say that was a pretty decent series. The Bucks series, Bucks versus Pacers. I think this series was underwhelming, especially considering how obviously the stars didn't really play much. Dame Lillard averaged 31 points in this series, and then the next leading scorer is Pascal Siakam with 22. So I think that obviously if this series had the healthiest players, you know, both teams going head to head with their full power, you put Benedict Mathurin back on the Pacers, and then you put Damian Lillard and Giannis back on the Bucks. I think the Bucks easily take this one, and I think that kind of factors in to why people weren't really big fans of this series, and I can agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily say it was boring, but I wouldn't blame you if you did say it was boring. So we can put that one in the boring pile. We can. This series, Knicks versus 76ers, that was a banger. That was a banger throughout. This entire series was straight bangers. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even look, 111-104, close game. 104-101, super close game. 114-125, 92-97, 106-112, 118-115. So this series just throughout, there was one game where there was a big discrepancy in the scores, but overall, that was just a good series. That was a good scrappy series, as you saw. And I don't think anybody can really disagree with that. I think any series that the Knicks played in this year was pretty bangery. Pretty banger. I can't lie to you. Especially, look at this. Jalen Brunson averaging 35. Joel Embiid averaging 33 and 10. 9 rebounds for Jalen Brunson. They were just all over the place. So I can't, in my right mind, say that this was boring. They had the close finishes. They had the crazy crunch time plays happening. Big turnovers. Lost foul calls. All of that. It was just a great series overall, and I don't think anybody could say anything otherwise, to be honest. And the next series, I want to just talk about the Western Conference as a whole for a second, because I don't think the West had any boring rounds, except for this one. This is the exception. Thunder Pelicans is literally the exception. The Thunder, I think, should have beat the Pelicans a lot easier than they did, and that sounds weird considering you look at this and the scores are obviously lopsided. It looks like they blew them out almost every game, but a lot of these games, especially these last two, were closer than the score would suggest, to be honest. They didn't get 95 once, and OKC only scored under 95 one time. So I mean, that just tells you what you need to know about this squad in terms of them being here without Zion. I don't think they're a good team, and they've proven that. I remember one year they were the first seed and Zion went down and it just completely went to shit. So I don't think this is a team that is a playoff roster if their star player is hurt, and it was very evident that they weren't. OKC did beat them. I think they should have done a better job. As you can see, Shea's numbers even went down. I'm assuming the efficiency also went down a little bit. That's the only Western Conference series where I was like, eh. It did end in a sweep, but it was super boring. I don't think any other Western Conference series was boring. I think the Mavericks' entire road to the finals was very entertaining. The Clippers gave them a little something, something. You know what I mean? They gave them a little something, something every now and then. They had a crazy shooting night, only won by 12. And then they won game 3, or no, they won game 4, another crazy shooting night, only won by 5. So I also do believe that the Clippers were not the better team in this series. I think that was clearly Dallas. Like, Dallas was clearly the better team in the series. But when they got hot, they got hot. And those 2 games where they got really, really hot, they won those games, and they didn't win anything else. So it wasn't a super lopsided series in my opinion. I think we could have done a lot better as a team. Seeing Luka lead all of these stats is insane. That's insane. But yeah, I feel like as a team the Mavericks could have done better and probably ended this in 4-5, but it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. I don't think they had a boring series. The entire West, the Mavericks, the OKC series, very entertaining as well. Also could have probably ended in 4 or 5 games, but even just looking at those stats, it was very contested, very closely contested. I wish the NBA website worked a little bit better, because my goodness, we scored the exact same amount of points. We did out rebound them though, and that's where I really thought it lied in terms of us winning. Shea went off though. Shea went off. Shea fried us. And that's another layer to this. I really do think if Luka and Kyrie didn't look like they were coasting for a lot of this series, like we let PJ and DJJ go off a lot of these games, so I feel like if that wasn't the case and they were full throttle, this would have been a lot easier for us. But it was a very entertaining series nonetheless. I definitely had fun watching it. The least fun part about that series was the aftermath, because OKC fans were absolutely distraught after that. And then I can't even, looking at the Nuggets series, and of course the T-Wolves, even with the T-Wolves blowing the Suns out almost every game, I feel like that was super entertaining, just watching Anthony Edwards talk shit to KD. So watching the Timberwolves fry the Suns like that definitely was fun. And even though these were all blowout games, if I'm remembering them correctly, yeah, except for the game where D-Book had damn near 50 but Anthony Edwards matched him, these were all pretty much decided before the final buzzer. But I watched them all and I thought they were pretty entertaining. Not gonna lie, watching Anthony Edwards beat ass and talk shit was pretty fun. The Nuggets versus Lakers, very, 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 very entertaining. Like, this was the most up and down series I've ever seen. Having the Lakers, look at the point differential, 108 to 106, man. That's so crazy. 16 rebounds and 15 rebounds. This was a crazy series, man. And I think the Lakers really did show that they're one of the better teams in the league by having this kind of series with the Nuggets. Like, this was kind of insane. I think the matchups are just bad. I just think the Nuggets got their number, and if they were to face probably any other team in the league, that it wouldn't look like that. Obviously, the super big one, this was the series. This was the series this year to be watching, the Nuggets versus the T-Wolves. And the fact that the T-Wolves came out was kind of crazy to me. They won the first 2. Nuggets came back, won 2 more to go to game 7. I think this was probably the most interesting series in the league, especially since it went 7. I would give the nod to Mavericks T-Wolves, but it didn't go 7. That ended in 5, so I'll probably go that way. Back to the East though for a second. We go to the conference semifinals. This Celtics series was boring. Celtics Cavs was definitely boring. Knicks Pacers was a banger though. Knicks Pacers was absolutely a banger. Banger fest. Jalen Brunson going off. I don't want to say Hallie was going off. I don't think he was. Yeah, I don't think he was. Those are pretty pedestrian numbers from Halliburton. But yeah, it was a fun series. Pascal Siakam had some moments. Hadley had some moments. Indiana comes out because the Knicks just got ran into the ground. But I would say that was a banger series. The Celtics Cavs, the Celtics didn't really stand a chance. I didn't think they matched up well with the Celtics anyway. Hey, score differentials aren't that bad, but from game to game, it's looks pretty. Yeah, looks pretty decided. Donovan Mitchell did his absolute best to put this team in a place to win, and it just did not work out. So, yeah. I don't think that was the greatest series. So from an Eastern Conference perspective, I can definitely see how you think some of these are boring. But on the West, I think these were all bangers. I think the Western Conference Finals on both sides, I think they were good series. But if you don't watch it and you're just like 4-1, this is trash. But a lot of these games on both sides were not blowouts. A lot of these games were close. Close went to OT. They win by a lot. This was close and this was close. And then you look at this series, close blowout. I'm just saying this was a very good conference finals. I think I couldn't, as an NBA fan, ask for more from the playoffs as a whole. There were a lot of lopsided series if you look at how they finished, but inside the series, I think there's a lot of good basketball being played. There was very close and contested throughout the most part, especially in the Western Conference. I think the West had one bad series. I think the East probably had maybe 2, 3, maybe 4. That's how I feel on the playoffs. Let me know if you disagree with me in the comments, because I've been seeing a lot of people saying that they thought this year's playoffs was boring, which I think is crazy. But yeah, I can't see the NBA playoffs being too much better than this, all things considered. Like, given injuries and everything, I think this is the best we could probably get. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.